Recently I went on vacation to California for a week and had to rent a car for that time. So, this ended up being a review of the absolute cheapest car that the airport had on the lot at the time. It is a bare-bones, stripped-out 2017 Ford Focus sedan. I'm surprised they didn't have any tiny hatchbacks on the lot, but I can imagine people throwing in their luggage into the back seat will tear those seats up pretty quick. I also ended up putting 700 miles on this rental car, so luckily there was unlimited mileage and the fuel mileage wasn't too bad either, which was one of the only things that car had going for it. The suspension on this car is pretty rough. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not a smooth ride. While the brakes were definitely strong enough to stop if you really needed to stop, the personality or profile of the brakes definitely had room for improvement. The moderate braking range of the brake pedal didn't respond the way that you wanted it to or the way you expected it to. Sometimes it would be too little or too much, but once you really got into it, you'd be braking as much as you'd expect to. It was also equipped with drum brakes in the rear, which is old technology, but it gets the job done. It's not like you'll be going anywhere fast anyway. This sluggish fuel sipper takes some getting used to at red lights because once it turns green, you really have to put the pedal down before it starts moving anywhere. The 2-liter 4-cylinder engine in this car makes 160 horsepower, but Honda has been doing that with 2-liter engines since the early 2000s. I'll get off this engine's case though. This isn't a performance car, it's just meant to get you from point A to point B, so enough about the engine. Ford makes up for the tiny info screen in the center by filling the center console up with a bunch of buttons. Pretty much everything there controls either the radio or the AC. It does come with satellite radio, but at this point I feel like Sirius just pays car companies to put that in their cars, so everyone has the opportunity to give them money. Although there are a lot of buttons for the AC, they are laid out very well, but you'll probably have to learn them by heart if you want to change the settings while you're driving. The air conditioning works pretty well in this car too. It gets cold really fast. The main problem with it though is the vents on either side of the car don't have an on and off switch. So if the heater or AC is on, both the driver and passenger have to get air from at least one vent blowing at them. As far as charging and power, this car comes with a USB port right underneath the controls for the AC. It's also got a 12-volt socket right next to it just in case there's something else you need to power. There's an additional USB and 12-volt socket in the armrest storage as well. The seats have an average comfort level, and the whole interior is remarkably average, which is kind of hard to achieve. The body styling is pretty good for a car of its class, but it's only a few years away from being super easy to lose in a parking lot. If you enjoy cars and you're looking to get a car like this kind of car really benefits from having features added to it. Not even a whole lot, just a few features. Maybe just spring for the EcoBoost engine. That engine's different, it's quirky, it'll make driving a little more fun. If you like technology, maybe opt for the bigger screen so when you sync your phone to the car, it has more things to do. Just add something. Give this car just a little bit of personality and it's going to be much easier to live with long term.